This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Hypertext Markup Language, HTML, refers to the principal markup language used in exhibiting web pages and information that can be displayed in an Internet browser. A web browser reads HTML credentials and converts them into web pages that are observable and perceptible. Elements consisting of tags enclosed in position brackets denote HTML. These elements apply as the structure blocks for every website built. HTML allows for descriptions and entrenchment of items and applications when creating association forms. It also offers the means to generate ordered credentials by indicating structural semantics for text in the form of headings, paragraphs, lists, and associations, among others. Delivery of HTML documents applies means similar to those used by other computer files. In some instances, delivery happens through Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. An HTML element refers to all items between the start and end tags. The universal form of HTML elements is in a pair of tags consisting of a start tag and an end tag. The interpretation of HTML by web browsers into structured data does not constitute a programming language. The key feature of a programming language is the presence of functional roles. HTML is applicable to structural roles, as it does not execute any actions. The key features of HTML that disqualify it as a programming language are the lack of restricted statements, lack of input and the presence of output, and failure to define functions that can influence information. The inability of an individual to compute a sum in HTML disqualifies it as a programming language. Therefore, HTML is not a programming language. A programming language will allow a user to illustrate a process that generates a defined outcome, while HTML will only add context and structure to a text. HTML is clearly a markup language. Markup language denotes a formatting design that transforms original text into ordered documents. Markup exists in two distinctive categories, namely, expressive or structural markup and technical or presentational markup. Expressive markup describes how document structure happens, while presentational markup specifies the manner in which document presentation applies. HTML is essentially descriptive and does not compare to programming in any aspect. If programming were to be less complicated, like HTML encoding, then an easy task like writing a letter or a Word document could qualify as programming. Programming entails more than the observance of formatting rules. Conditional sequencing makes programming unique and sets it miles apart from HTML. HTML lacks an analyst who can permit its code to receive and process information. Writing based on HTML coding cannot make a web user assume similar job descriptions as a programmer. Integrating programming language into HTML writing enhances its effectiveness, especially in web structure. HTML is a key element in web advancement, planning, and user edge, although it lacks some elements initiated in earlier hypertext systems. HTML explains varied types of data for element substances like script data and style sheet data. Therefore, it is clear that HTML is not a programming language because it lacks functional roles that define programs. HTML is descriptive in nature and thus cannot perform a task. The presence of formatting commands in HTML does not also qualify it as a programming language. Programming language and markup language lack proper definitions, thus the popular misinterpretation of their meanings. With a clear understanding, it becomes easy to establish whether HTML is a programming language or not. If you want to find more works like this essay on hypertext markup language, HTML, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects.